Thank you for joining us for the Administrator Quick Start Guide to using Conference Tracker. My name is Nick Armstrong. I'm with the software support team here at Enginerica, and I'll be going over the Quick Start Guide in our documentation. If you have any questions, you can always email us at conftrac@enginerica.com. That's conftrac@enginerica.com. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Now, when you first get your account, you're going to be emailed some credentials. One, they should give you our website to log into Conference Tracker, which is just like our support email is conftrac.com. So when you get to this page, you're going to be prompted to log in to the Conference Tracker software. First thing you'll need is your domain. This is going to be provided by whoever your sales rep was. In my case, I'm actually using the CONFTRAC. The next field is your email and password, and this is just going to be typically whatever email you use. And they'll usually provide you with a temporary password, but you can always reset it once you log in. So we'll see how to do that in a second. Before I actually do the login, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go look at our Conference Tracker documentation page. This should be emailed along with the with the documents you receive when you first get the account. For this one, the easiest way to get to it is attendance-tracking.com/docs, DOCS. And when you get there, just click on the Conference Tracker section. Okay, this will take you right to this area, and you can view. We have a quick start guide and English documents and everything like that. So I'm just going to click on the quick start guide. Alright, so the first thing that they have us do is setting up our conference. Okay, and when we log in, okay, you're going to kind of get a checklist as well. So you can see the first thing we need to do is enter our basic info about the conference. So to do that, you can click here. Okay, and I want to give my conference a name and possibly a subtitle if we have a slogan for the conference. So Alright, and then once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some dates for my conference, like when it's going to take place. Alright, so in here we're going to have a conference, let's say this weekend in December, so we'll say 11th. So I'm just clicking on this little calendar icon and then navigating to where the dates of my conference. Okay, and once I've got all those in there, I could go ahead and save that. Now, before I save that, if I actually want my attendees to be able to register for this conference online, I would also check this off. Okay, and we're not going to go into that in this video, but I might do that in the future. So let's just save that. I can always come back to the basic info and recheck that if I need to. Also, once I've got all that information put in there, I'm going to go ahead and have an option to upload my conference logo. Okay, and what that is it's going to be put on badges, certificates, things like that. So if you happen to have a logo, a handy, you can go ahead and do that. Alright, let's see. There we go. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to save that. Alright, and we'll see that later, that when we go create badges, it'll be available for us if we want to use that. Okay, and once I've got all that set, next I'm going to either enter my attendees manually or enable online registration, which we saw how you could do that. But if you do that, you also have to go into creating a form for the attendees to fill out and things like that, whether you want to accept payments and go into a whole different section. So we're not going to go through that right now, but I will show you how you can either enter attendees manually or via import. Okay, so this takes us down to the second area. We're going to click on the View Edit. Okay, so I'm going to create a new one. Alright, and we're going to call this one Mickey D. Alright, and the three required fields here is a first name, a last name, and email address. And the reason why the email address is a required field is because we have a lot of things you'll see in the system that we'll be able to do with their email, and so we require everybody to have a unique email address. We also use a card number, but the reason why is those card numbers can be reused or reassigned to different people, so that's why we choose to have these three be our required fields. All this other information is optional, but it's great if you have it, you can fill it out. Down here you can see that it defaults the role to attendee, but I have other roles I can give out as well if the person's going to be presenting, things like that. But if I want them to actually scan into the conference workshops and things, I'm going to leave it set to attendees. Also, if I have my own card numbers, I would uncheck this, and I could also put in maybe that's their license number or something like that. But we can put the card number in there. I don't, so I'll just go ahead and auto assign a new card. At this point, I could save and print an individual badge. What you'll see is if you're doing on-site registration, where the people will be walking up to a registration booth, this might come in handy so you can print their badge as they come up. But for right now, I'm just going to save that attendee. Alright, so we see it's Mickey D. She has a card number assigned. Everything's fine in the system. But we're going to take a look at another option for doing attendees as well. And this is opposed to the online registration or creating them manually. We're going to go ahead and look at the import. So to go back, I can either click this home icon to get back to the home screen, or I can go back to conftrack.com by clicking the logo here. Alright, and let's see. Okay, so it says we've already completed the attendees, but if we go look down at the bottom here, we'll go ahead and see we have an import option at the bottom in the advanced section. Okay, now if I'm not sure what the file format should be, I can click here to learn more. One of the other things that I need to have done is I need to make sure my time zone is set. You can always go to the advanced options in the settings and set your time zone. This isn't so important with the attendees, but it will be later on when we import the workshops because of the times associated with the workshops and sessions. So I'll go ahead and take care of that now because I want to import. So I'm going to just click this link they give me. Okay, it took me right to the conference settings. And in here on the very top in the general section, I'm going to set my time zone. Okay, if I'm not in the contiguous United States, I can also click this show all time zones so that I can see every time zone available. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and save these changes. Okay, It's just saying that it's going to overwrite any of those values. Alright, so it looks like we're good. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is just we're going to go down to the import again, and you can see I've got everything set up and I'm ready to now I have an upload button that I can go ahead and upload a file. Okay, and I've already got some of these set up, so just to give you an idea of what this is going to look like, here is just our sample import file for an attendee. So as you can see, we have something like their first name, middle initial, last name, email. These three are the required fields right here, and all these other are just additional information that we can import on the person. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, once I've selected the file, I go ahead and wait for the message to come up that it's been received. Okay, so there we go. It said it finished successfully. Alright, so that's been uploaded. Let me go ahead and we'll just take a look. So I'm going to go back home, and we're going to go to the Attendees View Edit. Okay, and you can see all those attendees I had in there are now listed. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look back at our quick start guide. Okay, next thing I want to do is I'm going to add the conference schedule. Okay, what that means is basically just all the workshops that I'm going to want to keep track of, and if there's any credits or anything that those are worth, we want to go ahead and put that information in there, as well as if there's any speakers, the times and dates. Basically all that's going to tell your scanning device, like your Apple devices that you'll be using, it's going to tell them when and where those are taking place. Okay, so we need to upload that in there. Alright, and we'll just go back to the home screen here, and under the conference section it's View Edit Schedule. I could create a basic session here, and we could actually just do one now. So the requirements for this is pretty much we need a name. The name has to be unique, so we can't have two of the same names. If you do happen to have multiple workshops with the same name, you might just want to put the date and time on the end of it, just so that it makes it unique. I've seen where they say Friday at 11 a.m. for instance, or December 11th, or whatever date we're going to do this for. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one. We'll do it from 8 to 9, but I could click these and change them if I wanted to. Make it 7, 8, change it to PM, but that's fine. And it says where do I want them to meet. Now right now I don't have any rooms in there, so we're going to use the default room, because typically it would want a room there. And the reason why is on the Apple devices you can track the session just by leaving it set to a particular room, and that way it'll shuffle through as the day progresses all the different workshops that happen in that room. The other option is just to change the workshop every time you go to scan people in. So you can see why that room could be really handy. Speakers and credits are optional. If I want to put who's going to be speaking, then we can go ahead and put them in there, and if there's any credits that are going to be available. So this one's not going to have credits, I can leave it blank or put 0 or whatever I want in there. Also, another thing is, do I want our attendees for this specific session to have to sign in and out, or do I want them to just sign in to get credit for this? So if I do require them to sign out, I'll have a required presence. Okay, so what that means is if let's say I want them to say at least 75%. Maybe they had to go out for a restroom break or something, but you could, set whatever you think's fair if you're requiring them to sign out that session. Okay, finally, we'll go ahead and save this. Okay, and there I got it. I have a conference workshop that's going on Friday, December 11th from 8 to 9 a.m. in the default room. Now, if I don't like that default room, I can go here and edit the rooms. Also, if I'm importing them, it'll actually automatically create those rooms for me. So if I know this default room is actually going to be something else, I can go ahead and change that name too. So we'll say exhibit hall. Okay, so save that. Alright, and if I go back and view the schedule, we'll see that now it's in the exhibit hall. So that's how you do it manually. Some other things is we can register people to that session, so only those people could check into it. If you wanted to limit who would be allowed in there. So when I click this, we can do a search for my Mickey D and select them and add them, and now they're registered for that workshop. If I want to remove them, I just click the minus sign and they'll be removed. So session details, I believe that's just if you want to see the attendance for this particular workshop once you have some. And if you ever want to go edit these, you'll just click on the title. So you'll notice that a lot in a lot of different places that, if I want to edit a person, for instance, or I want to edit a workshop, if I click on the title, I'll get back to that screen like when I was creating them. So back from the home screen, if I want to edit, let's see, my Mickey D. So here comes the screen. I can go ahead and update any information. Alright, well, let's go into importing the schedule now. Okay, so we're going to go back to the home screen as I did, and we're going to go down to import. All my time zone is set and everything, so we're ready to go. And I'll just click upload a file, but before I do, let's take a look at that. So here's my sample import file here. Alright, and as you can see here, I have my names. They're all unique. If you're not sure if you have all unique names, you can actually do some things like conditional formatting to find that out. You can do remove duplicates. I like the conditional formatting because it'll actually show you if there is a duplicate. Like I just made that a duplicate, so highlight cells with duplicate values, and you can see it makes it red if I happen to have that. And you can either delete or just change the name of it so they're not exactly the same. Alright, and here we have the times. As you can see, it's month / day / year and then a space, the time, space AM or PM. It's also accepted in military time, so it would just be hour, colon, minute. 1300 would be 1 p.m. for instance, that kind of thing. Same with end time. Then we also have looks like credits. This is basically if you have any credits that they'll be receiving for each of these. Alright, and then when we get down to the end here, these are our options. So we have RequiresSignOut or required presence percentage. So these are where you can say certain ones they have to sign in and out, and some they don't. If they're not going to, you can just put a 1 next to the required presence percentage. Okay. Alright, I'm going to save that, and we're going to exit out of it. Alright, and now we'll click the upload file. It should go ahead and complete successfully. Okay. Now we're going to go back home and look at our schedule. Okay, so here's all of our classes, as well as the one that I added in there manually. Alright, and now that we have those, if I actually want to load the registration off of a file, like maybe I've already collected that information, or maybe it was on their registration form, and I wanted to get that information uploaded in here, we could do another import on registration. But let's see. Okay, and then we can go into other things like designing the badge and printing that out. But let's go ahead and do this last import here. So we're going to upload another file. Before we do that, let's take a quick look at this one. Okay, and this is a fairly simple import. So what we have here is we have the name of the workshop, which is their unique identifier for the workshops, and the email of each person, which is their unique identifier. So we know exactly who's registered for what. So save. Okay, and once that saves, we're going to go ahead and try to re-upload. Scroll down to the bottom, hit upload, grab my file, open it up. Okay, and then there it goes. Okay, that finished successfully. Okay, so that's what we wanted to see. Now if I go back home and I look at the schedule, and let's say we look at registration for this first one, there's all my registered folks. Okay, and I could do that for these others as well and see who was registered. Alright, so this takes us to our next section. Back on the home screen again, you're going to go through and design, print, or even email your badges out to your attendees. Okay, and let's go ahead and look at the design. Okay, when you first get in there, it's going to ask you pick a template. Okay, you don't have to use these templates. Eventually, when you get in there, you'll see that you can actually set no template or a none option in there for the background image. So for right now, I'm going to just, let's say, go with this one here. Okay, and what I can do is just, when I say use this template, if I don't like the background, we'll have an option down here. You can see it says none. Alright, so just looking at this badge designer, some things to note out is we have the toolbox over here. You have the designer template here, and as well as some helpful tips here in regards to things like mail merge fields that you can add in here. You can see in this text box we have full name, so this is going to be their full name that prints out, and down in this text box at the bottom is going to be the conference name. Also, it loaded from our conference logo, the logo we uploaded. Alright, some other things to note is when I click on certain things in this template, we get different options that appear here. Okay, those are the different properties for each item. Okay. And so, for instance, here I have a text box. So this would be, if I clicked on add text, this is a text box that I would get. If I clicked on add image, I would get something similar to this image here. And one thing that isn't preloaded on here is the add barcode, so we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, when I add this barcode, it's pretty large, but the reason for that is so that it's large enough so that the attendees can be scanned easily. Okay. Um, this one you can't adjust the size, but you can kind of work around everything. Now on here, when I grab this text field, what you'll notice is I have a few options. I can either get rid of this text field if I don't like it. There's a remove red dot in the top corner. Also in the text field I have a resize, so I can click the bottom right corner and resize that shape of, or area of that text box. And then if I actually want to edit what's in there, I double click. Okay, and in here I could change what appears. If I don't want to use one of these mail merge fields where it puts their name, for instance, I could have everybody, if they were all let's say a certain title or whatever, I could actually put that and just do a hard-coded or static thing that doesn't change in there. Same with the conference name. If I don't like what is appearing there, I could go ahead and put in some alternative text. So we'll go ahead and just do that my conference here. Alright, and once I have that the way I like it, you can adjust these by clicking and dragging on each of these boxes is a way to move them. Okay, and then when I click on this text box, I have different text box properties, so I can change the font size, I can change the font color, whether it's aligned center, left or right justified in that box, as well as the different fonts that can be used. The background color, now what this would do is actually change just the background color for that box. So if I were to select a color here, let's say we went with black, it would look exactly like that. So if I don't like that, I'll go back to white here, and that'll be what prints on there. I'm going to go ahead and add another text box. So I just hit the add text button, and I'm going to click and drag this down, and I'm going to adjust the width on this so it goes the full length of the badge. Okay, and I'm going to double click to enter the different text in here, and what I also want to display is their company, so I'm going to do the money symbol, company, money symbol. Alright, and once I get that, I'm going to go ahead and also want that to be centered. And let's make that a little bit larger of a font, so let's say like 16 should be good. Alright, so it looks like we're good to go. Everything's on there. Once I'm happy with this badge design, I'm just going to save it at the bottom. Okay, and very important, we also have a badge switch or selector where basically I can switch to a different type of badge that I want to design. So if I have presenters or exhibitors that I want to design different badges for, I could actually click on those, but before you do, you want to definitely save what you're working on. Okay, so when I go back to design here, now I can easily click on the presenters and start the whole process over for each of the different type of people I have. Alright, so the next thing we'd want to do is probably go ahead and print those badges if you're going to be doing the printing. If not, you can also email those out to the attendees. They can print them out and bring them along with them later on. But we're going to look at printing because I know a lot of people actually will print their own badges. Okay, once I've got everybody in there, or they've all registered online, we probably want to generate all the badges so we can go ahead and get those all printed out. And we do have the option for specific users. So let's say somebody did a walk-in registration. This is where that might be helpful. And since there's 6 per page, I might want to fill up to 6 people in here. And I can also, I'm just clicking on them, but I could also type in their name to find them in that box. Okay, so once I've got this full with about 6 people, I could go ahead and hit generate badges, or do generate all up here if I want all the badges. There's also an option where maybe I've uploaded and already printed most of the badges. I could actually go ahead and only print after a certain date and time. So if there were any new uploaded attendees, I could just get their badges. Alright, so I'm just going to click generate badges. Once you have that, if you scroll down, it's going to say that your badges are ready. Once they are, you just click on view badges. Okay, that should open up in whatever PDF program you have. Now there is a specific Avery design that we have available. I'll put that in the comments as well. And it basically allows 6 4x3 badges per page. So here's what their badges will look like. If you're happy with those, then you're done. But if you want to go ahead and edit those, and you can see we didn't upload company, so that's why it's not showing up here. But the My Conference is showing up just the way we changed that on the badge. Alright, and I could then go ahead and print this. Now, something to note when I actually do go to print this is it defaults this shrink oversized pages. Now, if you want those to actually fit on what templates we give you, you want to make sure it's set to actual size. I'm not sure when Adobe changed that, but it seems to be the default now, and you need to change it to actual size. Okay, and then I just print that and go from there. Alright, and next thing we would just go ahead and record attendance. Now I can't go into all of that because it's another video, but at that point you would download the it's iConf app on the App Store. Okay, so you download this to your Apple devices, and once you do that, you use the same kind of thing, like your domain, email, and password. Once you're logged in there, it'll start to sync with the data that you've uploaded. When it syncs, you'll just either say what workshop or the room that you're going to be taking attendance in, and at that point you can either scan the barcodes on the people's badges or enter their IDs manually. And you have an arrow here that you can tap on to say whether you're signing people in or out. But basically once that's done, as you can see in this last screenshot here, you'll get a big confirmation whether they've signed in or out, as well as a beep beep if it's a good one, or if it's a bad swipe. So at that point you're tracking your conference. Okay, so I hope this has been informative and you guys have gotten something out of that. The only other thing that we haven't done, and I could show you that real quick, is I could also create operators to handle the devices. If I were to give out my admin credentials at this point, there would be a lot of things that they would have access to. As you can see, there's all these options in the main menu. So if I want to create limited accounts here, we'll go ahead and do that under the conference here, under device operators. So I'm going to go ahead and create new, and I'm just going to call this my helper for their first last name. Okay, and my helper at company.com. So those were the 3 minimums, like we said before with the attendee. Now the difference with this one is we will want to give them a password. Because they're going to be using the same domain that you use to log in, their email address, and a password that you provide them. So I'm going to make it really simple for them, something that they'll be able to remember. and then they can always log in and change that. Okay, and we're going to leave them set to an operator role and save that. Okay, now that I've got my helper operator, it looks like we should be good. So I'm going to go back to the home page, and you can see right now it has my conference and name and all the information about my conference, and we'll actually see in real time in this little orange box what's happening during the conference when it happens. When the operators log in, if they do want to change their passwords, they can always log into the website, click up here, and change their password right here. But if you're a conference admin, you can do that too from the password that we give you. But at this point, we're ready to start tracking our attendance and getting that app downloaded on the devices. Alright, so that's it. Thanks for watching this, and you guys have a great day.